अबे जैसा करना नहीं होता है जैसी करनी वैसी
जो भी होता है होता है
तू ऑडियो बोला ना पहले देखो तो क्या नहीं देखा आपने बोला है कि आप नहीं आ रहे
देखा हमने बोला कि मेरे को नहीं पता और मोस्टली नहीं कि मैं खुद हॉलीडे पे आया
तू बोला तो क्या बोला तो पता यार 2 घंटे होगा अगले लेक्चर मेरा 2 घंटे होगा
अगले लेक्चर में 2 घंटे बैठता हूं बस तुम लोग छुट्टी मैं तो नहीं करूंगा
डिस्क्राइब है ना डिस्क्राइब क्या हो गया ये 108 हो गया, रो ही नहीं सकता
नहीं
106 तो टॉप है
लोग का जो सिल्वर वाले ना
ना
तो 108 फिर वो बोल रहे हैं
सर घंटे का 108 नहीं होगा, वो कुछ ग्लिच होगा
फिर वो बोल रहे हैं मेरा 98
नबी 98
84
मेरा सच है
चैप्टर का
अरे नबी पॉपकॉर्न दिया ना इतना छोटा सा
नहीं वो दूसरा कोई क्या
नहीं उसके बाद मैम उसके पहले ही बोली थी अगर भव्य रेट होगा तो अपने को 2 घंटा कर
अरे एसी का रिमोट लेके आओ एसी बंद करो पहले
अरे भैया ये करी है
देना फिर बंद कर दियो ठंडी बहुत हो गया बोल ना जो
पता नहीं कुछ सही थे मेरे इसमें करने के पता है अरे नहीं करूंगा क्यों करूंगा क्या भाई यार मैं तो जा रहा था बिल्कुल हाथ पे पैर पड़ गया क्या ए मेरा कितने बजे तक लेक्चर है 6:30 नहीं एंड देखो मेरे काम के
अरे अगर तुम बोले तो आप ही चले जाएंगे आप ना फ्रेंड नॉट ऑलवेज
क्या बोलने का
सब लोग सब
जाते हैं भाई अल्लाह बोलते रहे उधर आंदोलन करेंगे चलेगा और बोले जाते जाने तो हमारे ऊपर से जाओ भाई बोल देंगे
इधर लेट आते हैं
और सब लैंग्वेज वो भी तो लास्ट पे लिखता
मैंने अपने दूंगा
उसको सब पहले ले जाएंगे फाइनल फर्स्ट लेवल में पागल नहीं
भाई वो तो बात करते हुए अटेंडेंस आप लोग गया है
हां अरे पर ना जाने दे
अरे मैं हो गया
अबे ऊपर जाने से लंबी जाती
सही में जा रहा है हां
चलना भाई
ऐसे भी मैं चलो भाई
तुम क्या पेपर की जाने के लिए जल्दी
जल्दी चलो
मैं तो कभी
ये खत्म होने वाला है को 2 घंटा बैठना जल्दी
जल्दी जल्दी
मैं तुमको नहीं चाहिए बॉयफ्रेंड रोल से अबे टिका लो
अरे चलो मैम को फोन कर रहे हैं
मैं भी आ रहा हूं
ये तुम बता हमारा घर में मिलेगा फिर
ये करने को क्या बोलते
मैं तुम लोग को कौन है अरे कौन है अरे आया कौन है अरे आया कौन तुम लोग के बात किया है कौन आया
कौन किया इतने जोर से वाला
बोल दिया
अरे पीछे से धक्का दोगे तो यही होगा ना
जिसका पता नहीं खेलना था आपको धक्का दे
As an unathletic individual, this is an achievement. Thank you. You got a new phone.
नो
It's actually green. It was green. You had a green phone.
Done?
Yeah.
Come on. Complete these 3 answers. At least पढ़ तो लो. Write those 3 answers. देखो अभी आ गए हो, तुम्हें बैठना है. Accept the fact.
Well accepted.
No point in giving.
मैम नेक्स्ट क्लास भी हमारा 2:50 का ही होगा
अरे मैं नेक्स्ट कर दूंगा
हां बढ़िया छुट्टी ऐसे हाँ तो वही बुक लेकर आपको वो किधर मिलते हैं गणित के लाऊंगा
कॉन्ट्री करते हो
मैं भी देता हूँ पैसे मैं सब पूरा पैसा देता हूँ मेरे भी देता हूँ
ठीक है 2 घंटे बैठे हो मैंने बोल दिया
अरे अभी के लिए नहीं
Hey, next week also you tell you will come for 2 hours. Okay? If he comes at 5:20, तुम 5:20 को आना. 1 घंटे के लिए. They will not get a half full day break. Come for 5.
अरे 1 घंटा मिल रहा है ना खुश
वो नहीं देख रहे अभी तू एंड में मना कर देगा बोल
ये किसी हफ्ते नहीं आता है इंग्लिश के लिए पता नहीं तू ले रखा है
मम्मी ने जबरदस्ती
So what you do now?
ए
There will be a small energy management.
I was
You read that? Handle this care. These are the answers of Fuji. E and F.
तू जो प्रमोशन कर तू वो चैप्टर में नंबर वाला बोल
So you try to लिखना
इसमें क्वेश्चन नहीं
कैसे होगा
तू कर लो चुप हो जा
कल्लू बोला
तेरे को
बिल्कुल ये देखो ही बोला मुझे पता है वो देखो मैंने सुना
बट ये तेरे ये बट मेरे लिए दीदी का यूं चल रहा है तेरे को नहीं बोला
देखो ही बोला
ये बोला कदम तो वो है ये तेरे को बोला रात चोक में बोल अरे कौन तुझे बोला
कल्लू बोल तू
शुभम में जितने एलिगेशन चल रहा है
ये ना ऐसे कोचिंग मैगजीन के आंसर लिखे हैं I explain this one next time. Next time I explain this one to you, but you have the answer there. I'm assuming you're done with the 3 answers. Still writing the third one.
एक तरीके से स्टार्ट
अभी इतना झगड़ा करके तेरे को 2 घंटा बैठना ही था
They discovered the
वही
best.
तो
Ending that.
वही बोल रहा हूँ मेकिंग ऑफ साइंटिस्ट करने में ये
अरे तू तो बाहर नहीं कैसे बोल देता मैं बोल नहीं करनी
Then you want 20
सिक्स
वही तो यार कितने टाइम के बाद फोटो वाला पेन है
तो बता सुनना वेतन बिना तो सारा तो बहुत उसका कौन से ट्यूशन
तो मैं भी दे
उससे बोला कितने का फीस है मेरे को अपने बच्चे का
क्या बोला
उसने बोला कि मुझे मेरी बच्ची को एडमिशन करवाना है
मैंने वैसे भी पूछते मेरा वॉशरूम अंडरलाइन से ही पूछते कौन से ट्यूशन क्लासेस स्टार्ट कर
1.5
कितना बड़ा इंडिपेंडेंट तो भी पूछना है कहां जाती
आई अंडरस्टैंड उसको लिखने देना फिर डिस्टर्ब तुम को नहीं हुआ
नॉन
डिस्टर्ब हुआ मेरा हो गया
बाकी किसी का हुआ
Vedant done writing the answer right quickly.
सेकंड में मिलना नहीं है अरे ये देख
तुम यहाँ पे करो मैं मैक्सिमम आंसर यहीं पे करवा के लेती हूँ इसलिए होमवर्क नहीं दे रहे हो So you write, I may give you time, I discuss answers, अभी और होमवर्क भी दे दो तुमको
ना
थर्सडे का करो ना जो आता है वो
मैम
You get to
practice sheets
वो फॉग वाला पोएम है वो शायद
हाँ
वो भी आना है
अगर
हमें।
मैं तो ऑर्डर्स में जाऊंगी।
Among four, please do it in the end of school.
ये नहीं मेरी एग्जाम
After
है ये।
this, होगा, लेकिन I will be doing trees after this,
Yeah.
and now we will be doing the making of the sign.
I did because I really like it.
और वाला sentence।
I derived three interpretations of trees. It's very nice.
For now, when they are half drowsy, and started when we come fresh.
Ma'am,
Properly.
let's do trees।
Making of the sign.
We decided it, no changes.
ये कब डिसाइड हुआ? डिसाइड हुआ था ये।
हो गया.
Children done?
Yes, ma'am.
तो फिर fill out the repeating।
Done, we done.
मैम देर से है वो।
इसका पढ़ेंगे।
We are doing this, the making of a scientist.
आने को शॉर्ट
Sorry?
आने को ऑर्डर नहीं करेगा। आने को शॉर्ट
That's your marks है.
हाँ।
अरे इंग्लिश के मार्क्स से मैंने टेस्ट किया था।
मैंने इंग्लिश में 87 है.
इंग्लिश
मैं-
में
मैं-
70% है। कितना परसेंट? 70%।
You all have this book? So turn to page number 32, the making of a scientist. Next time we'll do this next lesson, the necklace. That's a very interesting one. So we'll do that, and if there is if time permits, then please. We'll go in order.
You'll keep waiting for the main character.
She
नहीं, she's stupid, but then you'll keep waiting.
the making of a scientist.
Can I read? No.
What a chance to read.
It's just one chance out of the many I should get. Thank you so much, I was my case.
I can have a textbook.
I do.
You have a textbook.
Yes, I do. You should ask this to
क्या क्या है बच्चा? Volume. Volume से हम लोग पढ़ते हैं. इन्हीं ना textbook में अभी इसको इसी को इसीलिए मैं गुस्सा कर रही थी. You don't have a textbook. Okay. Start reading.
At the age of 22, a former dog of the year excited the scientific world with a new theory on how cells work.
Richard H.
Wright and his college roommate explained the theory in the article in the Proceeding of the National Academy of Science. It was the first time this important scientific journal had ever published the work of college students. In sports, that would be like making the big leagues at the age of 15 and hitting a home run your first time at bat. For Richard Wright, it was the first time in a long string of achievements in science and other fields. And it was all started with
And it all started with butterfly. So it is said that at the age of 22, this person, Richard E. Bright, he published his research in the form of an article in the Proceedings of National Academy of Science. If you compare this to the field of sports, it is like at the age of 15, you getting a chance to play for big leagues. You know that Manchester and all those. It's like playing for them and hitting a home run on the first ball. The day you come to bat on the field, the first time you're holding a bat and you hit a home run. You understand the home run?
Yes, it's baseball term.
Baseball term. Yes. So it's like a sixer in cricket, you can see. Now compare it to that. And it all started, see, they were only very young, this magazine had first time, it was a prestigious one, and first time they had published a research done by the college students. So it was a great achievement for Richard E. Pratt. And what was their achievement about? Or what was their research about? They told how cells work. And it started with butterflies. How?
And only child Hebrews grew up north of Reading.
Pennsylvania. Reading is the name of a place in Pennsylvania where he grew up.
There wasn't much I could do there, he said. I certainly couldn't play football or baseball with a team of one, but there was one thing I could do, collect things. So he did, and he ever. Beginning in kindergarten, he tried collected butterflies with the same determination that has marked all his achievements activities. He also collected. No, why is he laughing?
He's not laughing.
It's so beautiful. He also collected rocks, fossils, and coins. He became an eager astronomer too. Sometimes stargazing all night.
So he would do whatever he would do with great passion.
So, as a little child, identify fossils. Like, what does he mean by fossils? I don't understand exactly that. Because great with fossils, like the actual ones, you need to have some scientific research to break it into half and
No, when they are on the, when they are sometimes on the field, in the forest, or on the banks of the river, when they are constantly into it, they can identify the fossil, the imprints on the pebbles, or the imprints on some of the stones. So it may not be the fossil embedded into it, but the imprints.
Okay, understood.
So he started when he was right from the time he couldn't play. He was not great at play. But then he was very fond of what is there in the nature. So he started collecting things. What things would he collect? He collected butterflies. He collected rocks, fossils, coins, old coins, different types of coins. And he also became an eager astronomer. As he grew up, of course, became an eager astronomer. Sometimes stargazing all night. He would stargaze all night. So when they're into it, too much into it, keep watching it, and they start learning about it. And he must have read books also regarding how to identify various stars, how to identify various planets. It's amazing. Have any of you gone for stargazing ever?
No, once when there was this special moment. I was in grade 3. We stayed up for a good amount of time looking at the telescope. Everyone in our society gathered.
Okay. But you should go if you ever get a chance for stargazing. It is amazing. But you should do it with the experts. There are these people, like the school where I work, they have this every year. They take children for select few for stargazing, and they go in the little interior near Dahanu. Not Dahanu. Sometimes Dahanu, sometimes here inside Bhiwandi, where there shouldn't be light. See, we have a lot of light pollution, and therefore we can't see the stars. So you have to be in the dark. It has to be pitch dark. So they go in those villages. So once when I'd gone, it was a school, village school, right? Neat, clean school. We had put these, and there were 3 telescopes, and we had people from that, fundamental research people who were great. They are into telling children how to see about stargazing, and then they showed. And at different times at night, at different stars, you see different stars at different times, and you actually see their path, the rise and set. So it's amazing. You can even see the satellites. When you're looking up, you actually see the satellites moving around in the sky. So it's a beautiful sight to watch actually. And satellites you see with naked eyes. You don't even need telescopes to see. Because when they put, you know what, they also put, what do you say, those tarpaulins down and satranji, you know what we call them, and they make children sleep. So you lie there under the sky and you're only watching. So that's when they say, see there is a satellite moving. So when it's very dark, it's beautiful to watch. So he had probably telescope and he would all night at time. So he was very passionate. When he took up something, he would do things with great passion. Read.
From the first, he had a guiding curiosity along with a bright mind. He also had a mother who encouraged his interest in learning.
She took him.
Sorry. Took him on trips, bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, mounting materials, and other equipment, and helped him in many other ways. I was his only companion until he started school. His mother said, after that I would bring him
Bring home friends for him.
home friends for him, but at night we just did things together. Richie was my whole life after his father died. When Richie was
Richie. Ricky would be RICKY. This is Richie. Richard, Richie. When Richie was
in third grade, she and her son spent almost every evening at the dining room table. If he didn't have things to do, I found work for him. Not physical work, but learning things. His mother said he liked it, he wanted to learn, and learned he did. He earned top grades in school on every day's things. He was just like every other kid, his mother's friend. By the time he was in the second grade, Ibrahim had collected all 25 species of butterflies found around his hometown.
okay. See, this tells us that his mother took great interest in him. When she saw that he's fond of various things, she brought him telescopes, she brought him microscopes, she brought him camera, mounting material, everything so that will aid in his hobby of collecting things and learning things. Uh, when he did not have anything to do, she would give him some work to do, some work to learn, something that will help him learn, because that is what he liked doing. She says that by the time he was in second grade, Ibrahim had collected all the 25 different species of butterflies that he found in his hometown. Okay.
And he earned top grade in school.
Where are you? That probably would have been the
That probably would have been the end of my butterfly career. He said, but then my brother got me a children's book, The All Travel of Monarch's X. Interesting. The book which told how monarch butterflies migrate to Central America opened the world of science to those young scientists.
why don't you read Vedant?
At the end of the book, readers were invited to help study butterfly migration. They were asked to tag butterflies for research by Dr. Frederick.
Frederick A.
Frederick
Urquhart.
Urquhart of the University of Toronto, Canada. Ibrahim's mother wrote to Dr.
Urquhart.
And soon Ibrahim was
Attaching
attaching light
adhesive tags
tag to the wings of monarchs. Anyone who found a tagged butterfly was asked to send the tag to Dr. Arhat. The butterflies collecting season around breeding last 6 weeks in late summer. If you are going to chase them one by one, you won't catch very many. So the next step for Ibrahim was
raise a
to raise a flock of butterflies. He would catch a female monarch, take her eggs
and raise them
and raise them in his basement through their life cycle. From eggs to caterpillar to
pupa
pupa and adult butterfly. Then he would test the butterfly's wing and let them go. For several years, his basement was home to thousands of monarchs in different stages of development.
Okay. Um, I hope you understood whatever you read. So, he one day his mother got him a book, The Travels of Monarch X. That's a very specific butterfly, monarch butterfly. And they migrate. They have a large migration, and they migrate to Central America. Or something. It's called butterfly effect. That is related to uh, monarch butterfly. Anyway, at the end of the book, the readers were invited to help study butterfly migration. Now, how would they do that? And whenever they find a monarch butterfly, they should tag it. That is, you put a tag of where he was found and the date when he was found. Okay, on the butterfly, and you release it. So the next person who finds it so he was found in Pennsylvania. Next person will find him somewhere. Finally, they will find him in Central America, that is somewhere in Mexico or what Brazil maybe. Okay, so that's a long journey for butterflies. Butterflies usually are only they have a very small cycle. They don't have such migration. They are not birds, and therefore these monarchs are moving. So he started doing this. Now their season is very short. In his hometown in Reading is the name of the place. They come there for a very short while, and then so what he started doing, he started catching the female butterfly, and then he started raising the monarch butterflies in his basement, right from eggs to pupa to eggs, caterpillar, pupa to the, and then he would tag them and then release. So for many years, his basement was home to thousands of monarchs in different stages of development. So he would tag them like this was like, I don't know, 3-day old, 10-day old, whatever, and then he would send. So he probably helped a great deal to this scientist in his research. Eventually, I began to lose interest in tagging butterflies. It's tedious and there is not much feedback, Ebright said. In all the time I did it, he laughed. Only 2 butterflies I had tagged were recaptured, and they were not more than 75 miles from where I lived. So almost 5 years, several years he tagged them, but nobody came back. Nobody informed him that we found the tagged butterfly. Only two butterflies that he had tagged were found and recaptured, and he was informed that okay, but and that's to 75 miles from where he lived. So that's not very far. So he probably decided to give up. Wait.
There's a seventh grade. Then in the 7th grade, he got a hint of what
Real
science is when he entered a country science fair and lost.
And lost. County science fair and lost.
It was really a sad feeling to sit there and not get anything while everybody else has won something. He pride said,
His entry was slides of frog tissues, which he showed under a microscope. He realized the winners had tried to do real experiments, not simply make a neat display. Already the competitive spirit that drives Richard Ebright was appearing. I knew that for the next year's fair I would have to do a real experiment, he said. The subject I knew most about was the insect work I had been doing in the past several years. So he wrote to Dr. Urquhart for ideas, and back came a stack of suggestions of experiments. Those kept Ebright busy all through the high school and led to prize projects in country and international science fairs. For his 8th grade project, Ebright tried to find the cause of a viral disease that kills nearly all monarch caterpillars every few years. Ebright thought the disease might be carried by a beetle. He tried raising the caterpillar in the presence of beetles. I didn't get any real result, he said, but I went ahead and showed that I had tried the experiment. This time I won. The next year, his science fair project was testing the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. The theory was
Viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. The theory was that
Viceroys look
viceroys look
like monarchs because monarchs don't taste good to birds. Viceroys, on the other hand, do taste good to birds. The more they look like monarchs, the less likely they are to become a bird's dinner.
Understood what here? The next year's science project was testing the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. And why would viceroy butterflies copy monarch? There are two types of butterflies, viceroy and monarch butterflies. Why do you think viceroy butterflies copy monarchs?
Viceroy butterflies, as mentioned in the chapter, copy monarchs because monarchs are not very tasty to birds. But viceroys are, so to protect themselves from being eaten by birds, they look very similar to monarchs, and the birds are tricked into thinking this is a monarch and they would kill.
That's right. So birds don't like to eat monarch butterflies because they don't taste good to them. But they like to eat viceroy butterflies. So what viceroy butterflies do is they start looking like, they make them look like monarchs so that the birds would think these are monarch butterflies and won't eat them. So he decided to find that out. So the more they look like the monarchs, the less likely they are to become a bird's dinner. Ebright's project was to see whether, in fact, birds would eat monarchs. He found that a starling would not eat ordinary bird food. It would eat all the monarchs it could get. Ebright said later research by other people showed that viceroys probably would copy the monarch. The project was placed first in the zoology division and third overall in the county science fair. So he made a project saying that birds would eat monarchs. In fact, birds do eat monarchs. Why are they torturing you with this lesson? Okay.
I'm actively resisting sleep because.
Okay, read.
Thank you so much. This works.
And then your turn. Yes, absolutely. You got a chance, no? Who has not got so far?
I don't know.
In his second year in high school, Richard E. Wright began the research that led to his discovery of an unknown insect hormone. Indirectly, it also led to his new theory of life of cells. The question he tried to answer was simple. Was what is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? Everyone assumed the spots were just ornamental. Ebright said, but
Urquhart didn't believe it.
Dr. Urquhart didn't believe it. To find the answers, Ebright and another excellent science student first had to build a device that showed that the spots were producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. This project won Ebright first place in the county fair and entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. There he won third place for zoology. He also got a chance to work during the summer at the entomology laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. As a high school junior, Richard Ebright continued to advance his experiments on the monarch pupa. That year, his project won first place in the International Science Fair and gave him another chance to work in the Army laboratory during the summer. In his senior year, he went a step further. He grew cells from the monarch's wing in a culture and showed that the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wing scales only if they were fed the hormone from the gold spots. That project won first place for zoology at the International Fair. He spent the summer after graduation doing further work at the Army Laboratory and at the laboratory of the US Department of Agriculture. The following summer, after his freshman year of Harvard University, Ebright went back to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture and did more work on the hormone from the gold spots. Using the laboratory's sophisticated instruments, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. A year and a half later, during his junior year, Ebright got the idea for his new theory about cell life. It came by he was looking at X-ray photos of the chemical structure of a hormone. When he saw those photos, Ebright didn't shout Eureka or even I've got this. But he believed that along with his findings about the insect's hormones, the photos gave him the answers to one of biology's puzzles. How the cells can read the blueprint of its DNA. DNA is the substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. It determines the form and function of the cell. Thus, DNA is the blueprint for life. We're studying this right now in bio. अभी तो मैम ने बताया था डीएनए वगैरह के बारे में करना पड़ेगा.
Edward and his college roommates, J.R. worked on that night drawing pictures and constructing plastic models of molecules to show how it could happen. Together, they later wrote the paper that explained the theory. Surprising, no one who knew him, Richard Ebright, graduated from Harvard with highest honors, second in his class of
1,510.
Ebright went on to become a graduate student researcher at Harvard Medical School. There he began doing experiments to test his theory. If the theory proves correct, it will be a big step towards understanding the processes of life. It might also lead to new ideas for preventing some types of cancer and other diseases. All of this is possible because of Ebright's scientific curiosity. His high school research into the purpose of the spots on a monarch pupa eventually led him to his theory about cell life. Richard Ebright has been interested in science since he first began collecting butterflies, but not so deeply that he hasn't time for other interests. Ebright also became a champion debater and public speaker and a good canoeist and all-round outdoors person. He is also an expert photographer, particularly of nature and scientific incidents.
Okay. Will you read now the last part? Read. Richard Ebright has been interested in science since he first began collecting butterflies, but not so deeply that he hasn't time for other interests.
We have done that.
So Richard would always. One minute. Where are you?
Now you're supposed to read in high
Yes,
school.
in high school. In high school. Are you on page 37? In high school.
In high school, Richard E. Wright was a straight-A student. Because learning was easy, he turned a lot of his energy towards the debating and moral adaptation clubs. He also found someone to admire, Richard A. V. Herron, his social studies teacher and advisors to both clubs. Mr. V. Herron
Mr. Leader.
yeah, Mr. V. Herron was a perfect person for me then. He opened my mind to new ideas, E. Wright said. Richard would always give the extra efforts. Where Mr. Verheer said what pleased me was here was this person who put in 3 or 4 hours at night doing debate research besides doing all his research with butterflies and his other interests. Richard was a competitive, Mr. Verheer continued, but not in a bad sense, he explained. Richard wasn't interested in winning a sake or winning to get a prize. Rather, he was winning because he wanted to do the best job he could. For the right reasons, he wants to be the best. And that is one of the ingredients in making the scientist. Start with the first rate mind, adding curiosity, and mix in the will to win for the right reasons. E. Wright has these qualities from the time in the book. The Travels of Monarch 10th opened the world of science to him. Richard E. Wright has never lost a scientific curiosity.
Question answer.
अरे explain तो कर दिया तुम 1 मिनट क्या ये chapter क्या था?
See, this chapter is mostly
Biology.
about Mr. E. Wright. E. Wright's journey and how he started learning about monarch 10, as he read correctly, butterflies. So, at different stages in life, he first found that the tiny spots, the gold spots on monarch pupa. Then he decided to, many believed it is only for the sake of decoration. But Dr. Urquhart did not believe that, so he decided to do more research. So every year his research progressed. So finally he could actually understand the chemical structure of those gold spots. He even understood the how he can read DNA. So this page 36 tells us how and what research he did every year. Keep your fingers crossed so that they don't ask questions on this. Most of the times they don't, because they find this lesson, children usually find this lesson. The passages lines are given and the question is asked, but otherwise they avoid. So what we will do is we'll only do those one-line answers.
Today we were told that suppose the paper pattern in Hindi and English changed according to CBSE. So all the options we get in passages and stuff and all the correct options in unseen passages are gone. We need to write answers for unseen passages. तेरी class में नहीं आता? सोनिया कभी नहीं हमारे टीचर को बताया. For Hindi, our class teachers there, she understood what were the changes, and for English, we were told there are similar changes. Mukul, keep the box cutter inside.
Okay, I'll find out about the changes.
You cannot bring box cutters to class, man. I mean, it's not funny, it's threatening. Box cutter.
बहुत साफ रहता है. वो साफ बहुत. हाँ?
मैंने तो नहीं किया. I do not possess the intelligence for it.
And we are done with chapter 2.
One minute.
Study chapter 3.
So, not adding anything.
Can you check if there are actually any changes if our schools are updated?
And this is usually I have amount at least where so I
But English is 100% structured college sample paper. For English, she said again there are not few options in the passages. You have to write down answers. So like we had one passage with MCQs, one with answers. Right now she says both the passages will come with answers. I'm not even gonna quit writing language. There were no changes.
मजाक नहीं बोल रहा
B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, one, two, three. Okay, class one. Class one में से क्या कितने पढ़ा रहे हैं? Oh, अच्छा तो class one में सीख रहा है. और सर class one में सीख रहा है. इसलिए तो बोल रहे हैं. Love you.
Very much.
Love you. Love you.
Crazy. No, meditation. Next someone is telling.
Shamagita Shabda.
Next someone.
SAMADI.
Oh yeah. मैं कॉलेज में
मैं मुंबई में की हूँ ओ यार वही आई
What do you think?
What do you think?
I'll just give oral answers. What?
We don't have to write anything.
No, you don't have to write anything. 10 more minutes, then I'll leave. Okay? Yes? Yes, of course. Return that and the book. No, the textbook. Keep that in the textbook.
What do you do when you're excited? What do you do when you're excited? Give me a quick answer. What do you have physical reaction to being excited? You know, two of my friends have this reaction to being excited. Like they start doing finger Okay, thank you, bro.
Why you 100? I do a
So now because of them, quite a few people have started doing this sort of experiments.
General question. Okay. Which became the turning point in Richard? The travels of Monarch. The travels of Monarch. What are the three qualities that go into making of a scientist?
Wait.
First
First-rate mind, curiosity, and the will to win for the right reasons.
Yeah, that's good.
No, you please open your textbook and find those answers.
Yes.
Don't waste your time. 10 minutes. Answers to don't know. Simple one. What are the qualities that go into making of a scientist? Last minute. It is
First-rate mind, and the will to win for the right reasons.
presence of curiosity and will to win for right reasons. That's in the last paragraph in the textbook of the lesson. How did his mother help him?
His mother took me right.
Okay, and Yes.
His mother noticed his interest and gives the dedication indication and
And he got him telescope, microscope,
Equipment that are required to carry out his interest, like telescope, microscope, camera, counting equipment. That's it. And also brought him books like the Travels of Monarch 10 that was given by his mother.
Why did you remember this story? I got Bablu teaches something to fly.
Bablu?
Yeah, in my first book was Bablu teaches what was the name of the bird to fly. And Bablu teaches Cuckoo to fly. Yes. So good though. Bablu was a nice bear. Yes.
Why did Ibrahim want to catch butterflies?
Wait, because of the book, he wanted to do that. Yeah, because of the
I'll give you the option. It was his hobby. He wanted to pet them. He wanted to tag them for research.
he wanted to tag them for research. I don't know what's your answer.
Why did Ibrahim raise the butterflies instead of catching them? He was not capable of catching them. There wasn't any butterflies. The season for butterflies was over. Butterfly season lasts only 6 weeks.
6 weeks. 6
The last one,
weeks.
last
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
The butterflies last 6 weeks. Only for come there only for 6 weeks, and therefore he decided to raise it. Ibrahim fought Dash to raise his eggs in the basement.
A
Monarch,
female
viceroy,
monarch.
schemer,
A female monarch.
female.
Viceroy.
The monarch, not viceroy. What more did he collect besides butterflies?
Yes, ma'am, I agree.
I've collected fossils, not collected rocks.
Rocks, yes.
Fossils,
Rocks,
fossils,
fossils,
And
rocks, fossils,
Rocks,
coins,
coins.
I said that.
Hey, उससे बोला.
Why do go Peppa Pig में ले लो?
मैं हूँ Peppa Pig में. Let me live my dream.
What did he do? What did he do on some of the nights? Some nights?
Sorry.
He
He gazed the stars in the all night. There are times when he gazed the stars all night.
Peppa Pig ही देख सकते हैं. हाँ तो.
Yes. 10 minutes over, 1 minute.
Yes, with
No, please.
Bye now, bye now.
धन्यवाद.
They like Peppa.
What?
They like Peppa Pig.
What is that? I don't even know.
Papa Car.
Peppa Pig
What
is a
about
cartoon
Peppa
pig who does bad things and her parents discipline her and just sometimes they oink oink with. It's pretty fun. Oink oink. Peppa Pig is the best thing that happened to humans. Oink bro.
Ma'am.
Oink
इसका
bro.
कोई letter सुन
Oink oink.
वो ऐसे भी करते हैं.
हाँ मैम 6:15. तो फिर हम बैक करते हैं और फिर मैं लेटर सुनते हैं.
मैम लेटर
हाँ लेटर.
पत्र सुनने की इच्छा है. पत्र सुनने की इच्छा है.
Have you done?
Yes.
Okay.
Oink oink. Yes, ma'am. Oink bro. Oink oink.
Schedule and excellence.
The address will be given here.
Directly 24 January 20XX with Mr. Bros, Mr. Singh and Bros booksellers. With luck now. Subject supply of books for the institution. Respected sir, we want to buy.
We wish to order.
We want to order want to order the want to order bulk order of our institution library. We we
Discounts on the book.
Here you need to remember.
we request to reconsider the 10% discount as we are the regular clients and the institutional client. Kindly agree to 15%. I understand the expenses and this delivery and dispatch.
Expenses for delivery and dispatch.
Delivery and dispatch.
Will be
Dispatch
carried
will
out.
go your organization,
Yes.
and then the list of the books are with the.
Do you remember the list of the books? If you can't remember the list, make up your books.
Manifesting.
Mary
Right.
had a little lamb by Mark Twain.
No.
And we accept
Good
the
place
Right
your
line.
name.
No, right theory of
Ramayana.
the
literature reader book.
Exactly. Ramayana, Mahabharata.
Bible.
The theory of physics.
Akbar and Birbal.
Secrets of biology. See, what I'm trying to say is make your own books apart from Ramayana, Mahabharata.
Six for maths.
Six for math, yes.
We accept the purchase as early as possible. Your sincerely sorry.
I saw those. You need to watch Peppa Pig to stay in culture now. My club is singing my attitude, my She also has a little brother. Please, Peppa Pig has a cute brother. George.
Bye.
Bye, man.
Bye. Hey, whose pen is that? Is that your pen? Bye. Thank you.
मैंने एजेंडा का एडवर्टाइजमेंट बनाया था मैम ने
क्या?
एजेंडा का एडवर्टाइजमेंट आपको दिखाया था मैंने वो बोर्ड पे लग चुका है
Oh, very good. तुम्हारे स्कूल में?
हाँ
अच्छी बात है.
हमारे ऊपर नोट हुआ हमारे रिजल्ट के 60 मिला मुझे 80 में से हमारे क्लास का
इंग्लिश में?
हाँ
अच्छा. Good job.
हमारे क्लास से बच्चे ने से 7 पाया है इंग्लिश में और 2 मैथ्स में
Bye.